In this video, we will understand how the SMS settings can be done in Fedena main account and how the administrator and privileged employees can send SMS to other employees, students, and parents from Fedena. The SMS settings can be customized to deliver notifications right to the mobile phones of Fedena users when certain events occur in Fedena, such as when students and employees are admitted, when exam schedules and exam results are published, when students are marked absent, and when institutional events are scheduled. To be able to send messages, an SMS package must be assigned to your institution from Fedena Accounts panel. To use the SMS module, you must first purchase an account from a bulk SMS vendor who provides HTTP SMS service. If you're an Indian client, Fedena can also provide you the same. You have to mail info@fedena.com or support@fedena.com if you're interested in purchasing bulk SMS from us. When you're choosing an SMS API that is to be integrated with Fedena, that is, when you're choosing an SMS vendor from whom you're going to take this SMS API, you must take into account the two conditions. So the two conditions are Fedena supports bulk gateway SMS providers with HTTP or HTTPS response code. It does not support SMS API with XML response code. And the second one is sender ID in the SMS API must be a single word. So if you already do not have a tie-up with the SMS provider and you are going to buy a new SMS account, you can make sure that these two are sufficed by that SMS account. Now I'll take an example where I've purchased SMS account and I can check my SMS account details by going to this URL with some username and password. So when you purchase an account, you will also get a URL. The SMS provider is going to create an account. So I'll open this, which is given to me by the SMS provider. So here, and now the user ID and the password as given to me by the provider who has created this account for me. So in the same way, you will also have a URL that is provided to you by the SMS provider, and you must enter username and password to access it. So here, let me enter that username and password. For me, it is Fedena_support and some password, and I'll log in. So when I log in, I will see my account details. So on the right hand side, you can see the information like account balance. So I have purchased this account with 94 messages. That is what it shows. It shows the expiry of these messages. So it denotes that I can send 94 SMSs. That is my SMS count for this package. So again, when you are purchasing the account, you can take it based on the number of SMSs that you want. You can contact the provider and take the messages which will reflect in your account then. And on the right hand side, you can see further details, how many messages are requested, how many are delivered. So actually my package was for 100 messages. I've already sent 6 messages, so it's reduced to 94 here. And you can also check the other information that he provides. So here in the simple, you will be able to check more information. You can just write the number and send the message. So you can send it through this API also, but we need to send it through Fedena. So let's see how we can integrate this with Fedena. So we've purchased an SMS API account from some provider for which I've got the URL, I've got the username and the password. So let's write the information that we have currently and use the same to integrate with Fedena. Now the SMS provider will also give you SMS API documentation. So let me write that down here. So along with the username of this URL and the password, you will be getting SMS API documentation. So this is a document which will have API code. So it will have this API code. I'll take an example of API code that was provided to me by my provider. So this is the one. So here you will see this is the API code, and using this API code is how we will integrate in Fedena the SMS account. So I will write the username of this URL here and the password using which I just logged in, like this. Now let's integrate using this information in Fedena. So please ensure that you have taken this information from the SMS provider, and the SMS provider supports these two conditions that I've just told. And then let's start integrating. To integrate, you have to go to your accounts panel. This is where you create Fedena schools. So a school, we'll also call it an instance. So in the accounts panel, you create Fedena instances. If you have hosted Fedena on our server, it will be something like accounts.fedena.com. Otherwise, it will be the IP of the server where you have hosted Fedena yourself. So in this example, let's say we have accounts.fedena.com. You would have got a username and password to log in into this accounts panel. So the first step after you have all this information with you is to log in into your accounts panel using the username and password. So when you log in, you will see the accounts panel appears like this. I have more than one license. That means I can create more than one schools. That is why you see interface like this. I have already created 4 schools here. But now I want to integrate SMS so that these schools are able to send SMSs. For that, on the top right, click on this option and go to company. And in the company, you will see SMS option, and you will see that for the first time it says no SMS package found. So you have to click on create an SMS package. And now using the information that we have, which is this information, we are going to enter the settings. So let's see how we can fill in this form using the information that the provider gives us. So the first one is a package name. So you can give any meaningful package name. So this may not be in the information that you have. So I'll just give my SMS package. It can be any meaningful name. Now, service provider. So based on the name of your service provider from whom you have purchased the SMS account, you can give that name. So in my case, I purchased it from my company itself, so I'll give that name. So I will say Fedena SMS service. Now let's see the other field, which is message limit. So here in the message limit, you can enter the total number of messages that can be sent. And if you're not providing message limit, it will be considered as unlimited SMS. So now here I can provide a message limit of up to 94 because that is what is the account balance in my account. So here I can provide message limit if I want that all the 94 messages I should be able to assign to the schools, I will provide that. Now let's understand what is validity. It is when the date passes the validity date that you enter here, messages cannot be sent. So, and if you do not provide a date, it will be considered as lifetime validity. So that means you should enter here the date value till when you want the schools to be able to send messages. If you do not provide any value here, that would mean that the validity is lifetime. So here, let's say for me, I'll provide it till 19th August. You can provide the date till when you want to send the messages. Now let's see character limit. In this, you have to enter the total number of characters that make up one message. And if you leave it blank, the character limit per message is by default taken as 160. And in some cases, the service providers may include a few characters of their own as part of the messages being sent. So in such cases, you can contact the service provider and ask the character limit. So in my case, let's say it is 160 only, the default one. So I may not enter it because I don't want to override this value. Now let's understand how to do parameter mapping. Now we've got this information, and using this information, we will be doing the parameter mapping. Now here you will see it is saying username. So I need to enter the name, parameter name, and the value. And if you see here, we will use the API code. So let's figure out how to see username from here and password from here. So username, if you see, it is login ID. So for this SMS provider, instead of username, he uses the word login ID. So in the name field, I will enter login ID and the value of login ID. So login ID equals to, this is the value. So here I will copy it and paste it here. So I'll repeat this again. In the username parameter, we will check from the API code that is provided after the question mark. The first thing that you will see will be the username. So in the name field, you have to enter that first parameter, which is login ID. The value of the login ID will be in front of it after equal sign. So that is why we have put in this value. Similarly, password will be this field. So every key and value, name and value is separated by this sign, ampersand sign. So that is why I will copy this part, which is password, and paste it here. Value of password will be the value against it after equal sign and till ampersand. Copy this and paste it here. Now, if you note, this username and password is actually the one that you use to log in into your API account. So that is what is to be entered here in these fields, the username and password, but the parameter name has to be checked from the API code that the provider will give you. To recognize the username and password, you have to see after the question mark in the API code, the first field till equals will be the username, and after ampersand, the first field would be the password. That is why we have login ID here and password here. Now, in the same way, let's search for the field sender name. Again, I will look in the API code. Sender name is the third field. It is mask. I will copy this and paste the value here. The value of mask is after equals. In this case, it is Fedena. We can paste the same here. So sender name means that when a user receives the message, Fedena will show up as the name from where he has received the message. So it is actually a sender ID that is used by your SMS account provider. So here, that is why we have put in Fedena. So that means if I send it to a student, let's say I send it to some mobile number and the student receives that message, he will see it is from Fedena, Fedena. That is the characters that will be shown. Message will be what we have sent. So now this is the sender name. Now sender name can be modified. For example, if I have multiple schools here, like in my example, I have so many schools and colleges. So for school A, I might want to say that it is from school A. For school B, it is from school B, and so on. So instead of using a common sender name, I may want to split it up. So in that case, you can enable this. If you want to override this sender name, you can enable it. Once you enable, now when you assign this package to a school, so currently we are doing the settings. After doing the settings, we will assign this package to a school, and when we assign, we can give our own sender name particular to that school if this is enabled. Otherwise, by default, it is disabled, meaning that Fedena will be the characters that will be shown in from field. It also depends on the SMS provider if you can override the sender name. Some SMS providers do not allow that. For example, in my account, if you see, the mask is set to be Fedena. I cannot edit it. The mask meaning the sender name. So here, this name, I cannot edit it. It means even if I enable, there will be no change because service provider does not allow that. So you can also contact your service provider if you want it enabled, or before purchasing, you can ask him about this sender name modification if he allows that. Now, let's see the other fields that we are going to fill using this API code. The other field is host URL. Host URL is the information that you see before question mark. So this is the host URL. We will paste this here. So success code is another information that is provided to you by the SMS provider. This success code is a response that is generated when a message is sent successfully, and it is used to track the number of sent SMS from the SMS log. And some SMS vendors may not have a fixed value. In that case, you need not enter a value here. So you can contact the SMS provider to ask about the same. If he says it is dynamic, you need not enter a value. If he gives you a fixed value, you can enter the same here. It may not be a part of API code. So if you see here, it is not a part of API code. So that is the reason we have not entered it. So in our case, we will paste the success code here, which is called success only. Once we've entered this, let's see the next setting, which is message. So here again, from the API code, we will see what is the message. So here, if you see, after ampersand, we see MSG, which denotes message, and the actual message that is sent. So the parameter name is MSG, the value is test. So here in the accounts panel, we have to mention the parameter name, not the value. So here we will write MSG. So it is not asking for the value here because value is the actual content of the message which we will enter when we are sending message in Fedena. Now again, same for phone number. So phone number is again a parameter. So here this send to is the phone number. So this will be some phone number. It will be some proper value like this. So send to is the name of the parameter. Actual phone number we will only see when we send the message. And the additional parameter is whatever is left in this API code. So we have used the host URL. We have used the username, the value of the username, password, the value of the password, sender name, the value of the sender name, message as a parameter, the phone number as a parameter, and the rest which you see after ampersand. Just copy the same with all the ampersands in between and paste it here. So this is how you will be setting up the SMS package. Now we've created it. Let's assign this package to schools so that we can send SMS by logging in into the schools. So I will go to schools option, and let's say I have one school here. You may have one or more. Click on the one to which you want to assign the SMS package, and you will see this option of SMS setting here. So you will see no SMS package found. Now to assign the package that we just created, we will again go to company and SMS. You will see this option of schools. So I will click on it and select the school or add a school which I already have in schools to this package. So I will click on add a school. Now you can see it is asking for the school in which you want to assign this package. So here we will select all the 4 schools are coming which I have created. I will select school A, the message limit. So how many message do you want to assign to school A? So available is 94. That is what we filled in when we created the package. Now we want to set the message limit. So we will enter here. Let's say for school A, I want to split 30. So I'm giving 30 out of 94 to school A. You can give all the 494 here as well. Now validity is based on the validity of the existing package. This package is valid till this date. So you can give here valid till date to be up to this date. So here I will give validity to be the same date, let's say, and I'll save it. So now we can see that for school A, this is the validity, and the allotted SMS out of 94 is 30. Available is now 64 in the main package, and currently none of them is used. So available is 30, which is 100%. If I go to school, I can again check the same by going to SMS settings that the package is assigned here. Now, we've seen that here when we go to SMS settings, we can enable or disable the sender name. Since I have disabled it, that is why it does not allow me to change the name of the sender. That means for school A, Fedena will be used as a sender name. If I enable it and if the service provider allows, I can override the same by seeing in the settings. So I can go to settings. You will see this option comes sender name. So it copies the one which is Fedena. But if I want to override it, like let's say it is from school A, you can give that sender name. This will be only applicable if your SMS provider allows you to modify the sender name. That should be the part of the package that you have purchased. So in my case, I will disable it because that is not allowed by the SMS provider. So I will go to settings and disable the same. So now if I check by going to the school, that option will no longer be there. And also you will note that by default, this status of using the SMSs will be inactive. So after you have saved these settings, you have to come to the school again, meaning that you have to open the SMS settings again and enable or activate the status so that the school can start using these 30 SMSs. So now let's activate it and save it. Now, in the same way, I can do that for school B. So if I have more than one school and I want to assign, I will again go to SMS, schools, and add a school. You will see I will get here option of school B, message limit. Let's say I want to assign the pending 64 and the validity, valid date, we can give and save it. Now if you see from the package, I have given 30 to school A, 64 to school B, and the available SMS in the package is 0. This is just giving an information right now. We've not started sending the messages. That is why available SMS is the same count as the allotted one. And again, I have to go to settings to activate if I also want that school B should be able to send messages. So by default, it will be inactive. You have to go to the settings of the school after assigning to activate it. So we've assigned to 2 schools. Now I can no longer assign to this because the SMS count is 0 in the main package. So even if I go to schools and I try to add, let's say here, available message it shows is 0. I can't exceed that. So I will not be able to assign messages to other schools in my case because I have allotted all the available messages between the 2 schools. Now let's see how the administrator or the employee with the privilege of SMS management can send messages. So we will log in into the school. So this is the URL of the school and I log in as an admin. Now the first step that I should be doing to go to administration settings SMS module. You will see on the right hand side it shows available SMS count to be 30 because that is the one that we've assigned to this school. This will reflect once you have activated the messages to be sent from the school. So the setting that we just did, which was to activate the status of the SMS package. Now we will go to SMS settings and enable it for the application. That means you want to start sending messages from this school. So you have to enable it. It will give you some options. Now here you will see the options where all automatic SMSs are sent. The SMS module can be configured to deliver notifications to users when certain events occur in Fedena. And these are the list of events that you see. The first one is student admission. Now, when a student is admitted, and if the send SMS to students and the send SMS to parents. So you see here these two options, send SMS to parents and send SMS to students. So if these two checkboxes are selected and you're admitting a student, then the student and the parent set as the emergency contact of that student will receive their individual Fedena login credentials. So this is what will happen if you have enabled student admission along with send SMS to students and send SMS to parents checkboxes in this options. Now the other one is employee admission. Now when an employee is admitted and if you see the last option which is send SMS to employee checkbox is enabled, then that employee will receive his or her Fedena login credentials. The third one is exam schedule published. Now when an exam schedule is published and if the send SMS to students and send SMS to parents, these three checkboxes are selected, the student and the parent set as the emergency contact of that student will receive a notification. When exam result is published and if again these two checkboxes which is send SMS to students and send SMS to parents are selected, the student and the emergency contact of that student will receive a notification. For attendance, when a student is marked absent and if the send SMS to students and send SMS to parents checkboxes are selected, the student and the emergency contact of that student will receive the student absence details. The details will include the date of the student when he was absent and the session when the student was absent. So it can, in case of daily wise attendance, it will be the session. In case of subject wise attendance, it will be the subject name. Now, when a calendar event is created, and if send SMS to students, parents, and employees, the last three checkboxes that you see are enabled, then all three of these will get notification when an event is created in the calendar. And the other option that you see, which is the last one, fee submission. Now, when a student fees, which can be finance fee, transport fee, hostel fee, or instant fee, if the student fee is received, that means if you have done the entry of fee submission for the student, and if the send SMS to students and send SMS to parents, the two check boxes are selected, the students and the parent or the emergency contact will receive a notification with the payment details. And these details will include the amount paid, fee collection name, and the payment date. For an employee, let's say in case of fee submission, the employee will be submitting the fees of transport. So if we've taken that fee from the employee and we've logged that in the transport fee plugin. And if we have enabled here this checkbox which is send SMS to employees, the employee will receive a notification with the payment details, and these details will include the amount paid, the fee collection name, and the payment date. So currently I have enabled all these checkboxes, meaning that for any event and for the particular or the specific recipients, they should get automatic SMSs. If you do not want that, you can enable based on when do you want to send automatic SMS. You can update it. Now we've done this setting. Now once you do the settings, you will see a lot of other links will appear outside the SMS settings page. That is, you can send SMS to students. You can send SMS to a batch. So these are manually sending. What we saw inside the settings was automatic SMS notifications. What we see outside this page now is manual sending of SMSs, which we can do to selected student, to full set of students in a batch, to a department of employees or a single employee, to all the Fedena users. And then we can also check SMS log to check if the SMS was sent successfully or not. Let's take that example here. We will go to send SMS to students. We will select the batch. So let's say this is the batch. And you will see that the students will come here who have mobile number information in their profile. So you see there are two students in this batch. One of them is disabled. I can't check this, but the other one is enabled. So let's see why this happens. We will go to the profile of this student. So here we will search this student and we will see that in the profile of the student, I have filled in this field of mobile. Now SMS will be sent to the field in the mobile, not in the phone number. So you have to fill in the mobile field if you want, where you want the SMS notification to be sent. Phone number field, you can leave it. It is just for a record. You can also fill it in if you want to refer to it at a later stage. But SMS is sent to the mobile field. So that is why the student is enabled, because his mobile field is filled in. But the other student, let us see the other student. So we'll search this student as well here, and we will see that this student will not have the mobile field filled in. So this is the batch, and here mobile field is empty. That is why it disables here. So the students will appear here whose mobile field in the profile is filled in. So let's say I'll enable it and I'll write the message and I will click on send SMS. So currently the count is 30. So let's click on send SMS. So this is when you are sending manually the SMS. It says sending SMS initiated successfully. Click here to view the log. So if there is a delay in receiving messages, it is based on the service that is provided by the SMS provider, which is largely due to the network issues. So in that case, you have to refresh the SMS log and verify the status of the message received. And the log here that you see is same as what has been forwarded by the SMS provider. So here we'll click here to see the log. So I've sent few messages here. You will see this is a message that was automatically sent. So it will also come in the log. But these are the messages is what I've sent. This is again the one that is automatically sent. These are the ones that I've tested. So when I click on it, I'll be able to understand if there was a problem or if it was sent successfully. For example, let me show you for a previous message that I've sent. This is the content of the message that I've sent. When I click on it, it shows here the mobile number to which the message was sent, the gateway response, that is success. Again, the same mobile number to which it was sent. some unique number that it generates as a transaction, and sent at. So it is a success. That means the message was successfully sent to this mobile number. And I've put in the picture of that screenshot of the phone where the message was sent, so you can have a look at it here. So in the same way, you can send messages to a group of students. So you'll have to select the batch. Similarly to the employees, department of the employees, all the Fedena users. And you can check the status by going to SMS logs. So for our message, we see it is a success. It was sent successfully at this time. Also now, if we go and check the same in the account, that means in our SMS provider account, I can see that on the right hand side, the account balance is now 93 because one message was sent successfully. You will also get other information here, other details. This you can check by logging in into the SMS provider account. So it is successfully integrated. We've been able to send one SMS from the school using the SMS provider account that we've purchased. So this is how you can do the settings, and while creating the profile of the students or any user, you have to enter the mobile field. This is where the SMS will be sent.